Imagine for a second a tiny, helpless creature that couldn't even hold its own head up just 12 months ago. Now, picture that same being standing in the middle of your living room in Chicago or Los Angeles, looking you dead in the eye and intentionally dropping a piece of broccoli just to see what happens. This isn't just a birthday. It's a total biological and psychological revolution. Why is it that at exactly 12 months, everything changes? The answer isn't just growth. It's a fundamental rewiring of the human brain that turns a baby into a toddler. If you think the first year was a whirlwind, buckle up, because the transition that happens right now is the foundation for the rest of their lives. Most parents approach the first birthday with a mix of celebration and a strange, lingering anxiety. We've been told by society, by Instagram, and by well-meaning relatives that by 12 months, a baby should be doing X, Y, and Z. They think if their neighbour's kid in New York is already running marathons and reciting Shakespeare, while their own child is still happily crawling and saying "Baba," that something is wrong. They've been fed this milestone checklist culture that treats development like a race. But here is the reality. When you focus only on the output, the walking, the talking, you miss the incredible mechanism happening underneath. The truth is, the 12-month mark is less of a finish line and more of a massive software update. While the standard belief is that every child must hit specific markers on day 365, research from leading developmental centers like the Harvard Center on the Developing Child shows that the sequence of development matters far more than the exact date. The successful parents aren't the ones with the earliest walkers. They are the ones who understand the hidden milestones, the subtle shifts in cognitive processing that signify a child is ready to engage with the world as an independent agent. Here is something 90% of people don't realize about the 12-month brain. According to a landmark study on neuroplasticity, by the time a child hits their first birthday, their brain has reached about 70% of its adult size, but it has double the number of synapses, connections between neurons, as an adult brain. This is called synaptic exuberance. This means your 1-year-old is literally seeing and hearing things with a level of intensity you can't even imagine. Let's look at the pointing milestone. To you, it's just a finger in the air. To a developmental psychologist, it's joint attention. A study conducted by the University of Washington found that babies who point to objects to share interest with a caregiver at 12 months have significantly higher language scores at age 2. Why? Because pointing isn't just about the object. It's about the realization that I can influence your mind. It is the birth of communication. The group of babies who mastered this social pointing showed a 40% increase in vocabulary retention compared to those who only used reaching gestures. The shocking part? It has almost nothing to do with intelligence and everything to do with the response they get from you. To understand how this works, you have to look at the 3 pillars of the 12-month transition. First, there's the motor cortex, which is finally myelinating enough to allow for those first shaky steps. Second, there's the Broca's area in the brain, responsible for speech production. It's finally connecting to the auditory cortex. And third, there's the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain. At 12 months, the CEO is starting to take its seat. When a baby acts out or tests a boundary, like throwing a spoon, they aren't being bad. They are running a physics experiment. When they throw that spoon, the motor cortex executes the move. The visual cortex tracks the trajectory, and the prefrontal cortex records the result. If you pick it up, you've just completed the circuit for them. They think, aha, if I do A, then B happens. This is the beginning of cause and effect. A top expert in pediatric development once said, "A 1-year-old is a scientist whose laboratory is your kitchen floor." Let me give you a real-world example to show how varied this looks. Take Liam from a suburb in Houston. At 12 months, Liam wasn't walking. He wasn't even cruising on furniture. His parents were terrified. But Liam was doing something else. He was pincer grasping every tiny crumb on the floor with surgical precision and saying "cat" every time the family pet walked by. His development was heavily weighted toward fine motor and language. Then there was Sophia in Seattle. Sophia was literally running by 11 months, but she didn't say her first word until 14 months. Both children were perfectly healthy. The pattern is clear. The brain prioritizes one lane of development at a time. You cannot build a skyscraper and a subway system on the same plot of land simultaneously without some delays. So, how do we support this massive shift? I want to introduce you to a framework I call the L.E.A.P method. It stands for language, exploration, attachment, and predictability. This isn't just a list of chores. It's a way of existing with your toddler that maximizes their potential. Step 1. Language immersion. The goal here is narrative parenting. For the next few months, you are a sports commentator for your baby's life. When you're in the kitchen, don't just give them a bottle. Say, "I am opening the refrigerator. It's cold. Now I'm pouring the white milk into your blue cup." Why does this work? Because at 12 months, receptive language, what they understand, is miles ahead of expressive language, what they can say. By naming objects, you are building a massive library in their head. When they finally find the key to speech, they'll have all the books ready to go. A common mistake is using baby talk exclusively. While parentese, the high-pitched melodic tone, is great for attention, you should still use real words. Don't just say "wah-wah," say "water." You'll see them watching your mouth, literally mapping the movements they need to make. Step 2. Exploration. Safe risk-taking. This is where you create a yes space. At 12 months, the word they hear most is no. No, don't touch that. No, stay away from the stairs. This constant restriction can actually dampen their natural curiosity. Instead, designate one area of your home where everything is 100% safe. Let them pull the Tupperware out of the bottom cabinet. Let them feel the texture of a wooden spoon versus a silicone one. Real-life scenario. Imagine your baby is trying to climb onto a low ottoman. The old way is to pick them up and put them on it. The L.E.A.P way is to stand behind them, hands ready but not touching, and say, "You're working hard to climb. Put your knee here." This builds self-efficacy, the belief that they can do things on their own. The sign you're doing this right? When they fall, safely, they look at you, see you're calm, and try again instead of immediately crying. Step 3. Attachment, the emotional anchor. At 12 months, separation anxiety often peaks. This is actually a good sign. It means they finally understand that you are a separate person who can leave. To support this, play object permanence games. "Where's the toy?" under a blanket, or "peekaboo." This teaches them that even when things disappear, they come back. Step 4. Predictability, the power of routine. The world is a chaotic, loud place for a 1-year-old. Routines are the anchors that keep them from feeling overwhelmed. A consistent dinner, bath, book, bed routine isn't just for your sanity. It's for their neurological regulation. When a baby knows what's coming next, their cortisol levels drop, and their brain can focus on learning instead of survival. Now let's talk about the timeline. For the next 2 weeks, focus on the transition. You'll notice their sleep might get wonky, the 12-month sleep regression. This happens because their brain is so busy practicing walking or talking that it literally won't shut off at night. Don't panic, maintain your routine. By week 3 and 4, you'll likely see a burst in development. They might suddenly have 5 new words or start walking across the room without holding your hand. By month 3, around 15 months, you'll enter the gains phase. This is where the pretend play starts. You'll see them feeding a teddy bear or talking on a toy phone. This is a massive cognitive leap. It means they are beginning to understand symbols. A block isn't just a block, it's a car. This is the root of abstract thinking and creativity. But what if things don't go perfectly? Let's troubleshoot. Problem 1. The no phase. If your 12-month-old is suddenly screaming when you change their diaper, it's not because they're naughty, it's because they've discovered agency. They want to control their body. The fix? Give them 2 choices. Do you want the red diaper or the green one? Do you want to walk to the bath or have me carry you? Giving them a sense of control over small things prevents the power struggle over big things. Problem 2. Picky eating. Many babies stop eating everything in sight at 12 months. Why? Because their growth rate actually slows down compared to the first year, and they become more suspicious of new textures. This is an evolutionary survival mechanism called Neophobia. The solution? Keep offering. It can take 15 to 20 exposures for a toddler to accept a new food. Don't pressure them, just keep the broccoli on the plate. If you want to go to the advanced level, start focusing on emotional labeling. When your baby gets frustrated because their tower of blocks fell over, don't just say, "It's okay." Say, "You are feeling frustrated because your tower fell. That was hard." Even if they can't talk back, you are giving them the emotional alphabet they will need for the rest of their lives. Most people stay at the beginner level, just trying to get through the day. But the masters realize that every interaction is a chance to wire the brain for empathy and resilience. You are not just raising a baby, you are building a human. To recap, the 12-month mark is a total transformation. Forget the standard checklists and focus on the LEAP framework. Language immersion, exploration in a yes space, attachment through play, and predictability through routine. Your first action step, right after you finish this, is to go sit on the floor with your baby. Don't bring your phone. Just watch them. See what they point at. See how they try to solve a problem. Follow their lead for 10 minutes. This is called floor time, and it is the single most powerful thing you can do for their development today. Tomorrow, start the narrative parenting habit. Talk about everything. By next week, you'll start to see them looking at objects before you even name them. That's the sign that the rewiring is working. I want to hear from you. What is the one weird or funny thing your 12-month-old is doing right now? Is it a specific sound? A strange way of crawling? Comment below. I'll be responding to as many as I can to help you decode what those milestones actually mean. In our next episode, we're going to dive deep into the toddler tantrum and why it's actually a sign of a healthy brain. You won't want to miss it. Until then, celebrate the progress, not the perfection. Happy first birthday to your little one. See you next time.